Okay, who am I and why do you care to come to my channel? My name is Lele, or Paranormal PI. A lot of you guys know me as either or both, and I am a multi-gifted medium. I am not a psychic. There is a huge difference between the two. I have had psychic moments in my life, but it's not a gift that I control, and so I do not qualify myself as a psychic. As a medium, I see, hear, feel, and sense spirits. So what does multi-gifted medium mean versus just a medium? How my grandmother explained it to me before she passed was that many mediums only hear or only see. So if you're somebody who senses spirits, but you can't see or hear them, you can't communicate with them directly without tools, then you may be sensitive. You may be an empath, you may just be a sensitive person, which a lot of people are, especially in this industry. There's a reason you're drawn to the paranormal, so many of you are probably sensitive. But if you can actually see them or hear them, and you can actively communicate, and you can kind of control what you're doing, then you're kind of a medium. The thing is, I was blessed with all of them. So some mediums only see, some mediums only hear. I see, hear, feel, sense. So that makes me multi-gifted. Okay, a medium communicates with the dead, right? We see them, we hear them, we interact with them. That's our gift. We communicate with the dead. And any information about the living we might get would have to come from the dead. We couldn't pick that information up ourselves. A psychic might not interact with the dead. A psychic might not have any way to communicate with the dead at all, but they get their own sensations or visions or whatever from the living to tell them what has happened or what's going to happen. And then you have psychic mediums, and they can do both, interact with the living in the past and the present through visions or senses, and then they also can communicate with the dead. So I am not a psychic medium. I'm strictly a medium. I have had psychic moments. Things do happen, but that is not a gift that I enjoy, it's something I use on a regular basis, or that I have any control over. So that's the difference. A lot of what you guys see in the media or in mainstream right now are psychic mediums. So Teresa Caputo is strictly a medium, from what I can tell. I guess I can't say 100%, but from what she does, she's pretty much just a medium. And I think Jonna Edwards might just be a medium. But you have Chip Coffey, James Van Prague, you've got Sylvia Brown. Obviously, she's not with us anymore. Those were psychic mediums, and that means that they could communicate with spirit and they could get information about individual people and the future. So here's the other thing is I deal with the dead, not the living. Obviously, I interact with the living, I relay messages to the living, but I cannot see the future. I cannot tell you anything about your past or your future unless a spirit specifically gives that to me, where a psychic can do that. I am perfectly happy with that. I have zero interest in being psychic. It's not something I look to develop. I don't want to do that. A lot of people ask me if I can do readings, if I want to do readings. It's something I've considered over the years, off and on. It's not something I've ever attempted, maybe down the line, but really my calling, I know, is to help other gifted kids. I went through a lot being gifted kids, especially having my dad being gone. He passed when I was 10, and then my mom just not accepting it and not being okay with it. It was a very challenging adolescence. I'd be able to give kids a resource, especially if they don't have one at home or with their peers. And so that's what this book that I'm working on is all about, and it's what my goal is with my gifts, is to be an educator, not so much to be a reader. I feel like anyone with gifts who wants to actively use them long term needs to kind of figure out exactly what their purpose is. Some people are meant to do tarot, some are supposed to be healers, some are supposed to work with chakras, some are going to do group readings, and that's their calling. Mine is to educate, and primarily the youth, but anyone who really wants to learn. I feel like I am a vessel to just give information, and so that's what I plan to do through the book, through these vlogs, through my written blogs, any way I can do it. So that's who I am. If you want to know any more about my experience growing up, you can check out my website, theparanormalpi.com, and the About Lele section will have pretty much the whole story of my childhood. It will have the paranormal story of my childhood. Full story of my childhood will be in the book, the first chapter. So yeah, that is kind of who I am, what I do, why I'm here. As this channel grows and evolves, there will just continue to be more and more information. I want it to be a really fun channel, but also very informative. Stay tuned.